Clifford, I'll start with you. What is this meant to achieve?
I think, Trevor, the Nation Leadership Forum is something that was born out of our discussions internally in terms of seeing what can we do in terms of driving thought leadership for this country and looking at leveraging on our global, our continental, our national, regional, and local strengths to be able to establish a thought leadership that can be able to discuss critical issues that affect the development of this country. Yeah. So that's exactly what the Nation Leadership Forum is all about. What we are seeking to achieve is provoke discussions, encourage dialogue, look at critical solutions and practical solutions, as well as share best practices in terms of some of the critical areas that we're going to be looking at. Yeah. It's going to be a quarterly forum. It will be a forum that will not only look at economy, it will look at the financial markets, it will also look at agriculture, to look at health, it will look at aspects of governance. So pretty much we're looking at the different sectors of our economy. And the reason why we have not narrowed down to any particular topic is because we believe that as Nation Media Group, we do have a role to play in this economy in terms of spearheading these discussions. Yeah.
Dr. Kalua, there's several policies that we already have, but every single time drought comes by, we act surprised and we're caught flat-foot, so to speak. What do you think is the missing link here?
Quite a lot, and surely we are a country that has done a lot. You find today you're talking about water in every county. We have done the mapping of the water. We have done so many issues on leadership that are required. Policies are there. But I think we need now to start narrowing down on the actual missing links. And I think it is the ownership. Looking at every aspect of leadership, be it on water, be it on environment, be it on every other activity, looking at what you can be able to do as a citizen of this country. That ownership is what, in my opinion, is the missing challenge and the missing link which we need to start working on so that we clear out the serikali's idea, mentality. This is what I would say is the issue.
Leila, do you agree? I mean, you are the project lead, Route to Food Alliance. Is there a problem in terms of ownership? Who takes responsibility for this?
So I would agree. I would also go further to argue, Dr. Kalua, that there needs to be a stronger connection made between this issue of food security and the right to food. So Article 43 in the Kenyan Constitution states that every person has the right to be free from hunger and to have adequate food of acceptable quality. So by definition, food security and the right to food mean the same outcome, the crucial difference being that food security is not a legal concept per se, whereas the right to food implies a legal obligation on the state. Yeah. And that is something that the Route to Food Alliance tries to emphasize.
All right. Professor Kiama, you from the College of Agriculture, and that is where the backbone really is, agriculture. Yes. What are the main challenges we're facing here? How come we always get surprised?
Yeah, I'm going to take you to the Bible, eh?
Okay.
And it talks like man was created in the likeness and the image of God. Mm-hmm. He was created so that he can rule all the animals and all this kind of thing. Yeah. And also created in the image and likeness of God to subdue the earth, if you go back to Genesis. Mm-hmm. If you have to do this, you need knowledge. And everybody must have that knowledge. That is the business of an academic institution like University of Nairobi. Now, the problem is that, again, we sometimes have a lot of knowledge, but we do very little. Perhaps because we do not know that we are the ones who are given charge to take care of this earth. And we think it is somebody somewhere else who will come to do it. And Wangari Maathai always kept on talking about the issue of self-realization, what she would call sometimes in Swahili, kujijua. Yeah? Because that is the empowerment that we need, to know that when these things confront us, it is because we have failed to take action ourselves, not some other person from another place. Yeah. So the issue is to bridge that no and the do gap, which we are also getting into as a university.
So it comes back to what Dr. Kalu was saying, we need to take ownership of this issue.
Yes.
And Clifford, as we are having this discussion, the Nation Leadership Forum, are we looking to create more policies, or are we just looking to create awareness, or what is the plan to make sure this is sustainable?
First, the first thing that we are looking to have is not to have a talk shop. Okay. Because I think one of the main challenges that has been for all these summits that you see in town or forums is we come, attend, talk, and leave. One of the things we're very clear when we came up with the Nation Leadership Forum is that it is a sustainable discussion that moves forward even after Monday. And one of the things we're trying to achieve is some of the untold stories, some of the research that will be discussed in the forum, not to preempt anything, with something that we as the Nation Media Group can be able to go forward and look at those practical solutions. So a good example, if we have a solution in Turkana, and that solution is something that Kenyans have not been aware of, we will go to Turkana. We will go and look at that solution. We will bring it back, disseminate it to our people, so that, for example, Baringo County is actually able to come and borrow from that solution. So we're looking at having practical solutions that can be taken forward, disseminated across all our platforms as Nation Media Group, so that we are able to actually spearhead some level of social change in our country.
Yeah, and Dr. Kalua, that brings up the issue of adaptation. When you're given a new idea, do you just take it up, or farmers have a lot of questions about it? In terms of participation, are we on the right track?
We are not, but there is a great opportunity. And let me just take it back on what my brother has just said about ownership and examples. I think it has reached a time that Kenya, we need to start looking at things from what not to do as opposed to what to do. I'll give you an example of about 1.1 million Kenyans in different places and what they are suffering from. And I'm specifically talking about water. Kitui County, 100,000 people close are missing water because of corruption. Machakos, about 200,000 people are missing water because of inefficiency. People in Kuresoi, people in Nakuru, people in other places are almost and at the risk, 800,000 people are at the risk of suffering from loss of water because of politics. What am I referring to? Umar Dam, 28 meter high dam that is supposed to give 2,500 cubic meters of water daily to 100,000 people. Why is it not up today? Corruption. Go to Machakos, Maruba Dam, that is supposed to give a lot of water, close to 200,000 people with water. And the people are not enjoying this because of inefficiency, silting, and we need to look at things from a different perspective. What is this silting? It could be sand, it could be soil that can be sold and make money for the county and have space for water that is going to move from 10 million cubic meters to 40 million cubic meters to feed 200,000 people. Politics because of 800,000 people in Itare. Small things. The name, why is it called Itare? Why is it not called a local name in this particular place? The scientific approach has been done, and therefore people are... Now, these are the issues that I expect us to deal with head-on during the leadership forum, and now start learning from this. What haven't we done, according to your question? Easy wins that we need to look at. Are we harvesting water? Or are we just telling people, you know, there is the idea and what we do at Kenya Water Towers, calling for those micro water harvesting areas that we can also do. How we harvesting water ourselves from our own homes. Soon, today we are talking of drought. Tomorrow you will be the same media house telling us how flooding has really caused and killed and done everything else. These are the things we need to look at and face head on, and say that these are the lessons that we don't want to repeat, and we have to change this nation. And by the way, we can change this nation.
Leila,
it can happen.
Dr. Kalu is bringing in very pertinent questions about what we are doing. What would you like to see handled differently on this leadership forum?
So I want to add on the leadership forum. So the theme of this leadership forum, or what we've been asked to discuss, or what we'll be addressing in this quarter, is hungry and thirsty, what are Kenya's options? And I want to make 2 points here. The first, which draws on what Dr. Kalua has said, which is about ownership. So, the first point I wanted to make is that I think that we need to, the onus is on each of us to lead, to take some action towards change. And the second point that I want to make is that we need to become intolerant towards and develop a conscience about chronic food insecurity. And by chronic, I mean people who regularly cannot access adequate food. And when we're talking about adequate, we're not just talking about ugali, rice, and bread. We're talking about food that is, people can afford food that is nutritionally diverse, culturally appropriate, safe, clean. These are things we know, et cetera, and if one of the aims is also to be able to shape opinions and contribute towards policy decisions taken towards development and growth of Kenya, I don't think you need to be an economic expert or a space scientist to know that when 25% of the population is chronically food insecure, what the negative repercussions are on economic and social development in the country.
All right. Professor, there's a lot of talk about adaptation of technology, and I know you deal a lot with that. How far are we in terms of our technological know-how and the implementation on the ground, basically? Because there's also this talk, there's an imagination that these technologies are just for the high and mighty, but the people who actually do the food production are not even aware they exist.
There's actually a gap there.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of technologies that exist, including if you are keeping dairy animals, what you should do and feed them to produce this amount.
Yeah.
But when you go to the countryside, everybody is doing their own things. So you find just 1 or 2 farmers who do it here and there. The problem is that there's no structured way of ensuring that this information, which is there, reaches the farmers. We used to have, in olden times, a very elaborate extension workers, agricultural extension workers, who, when they went to the field, the farmers listened to them. With the structural adjustment program, which were brought by World Bank, some of those structures were removed. The government now has been trying to bring this one back. But when we go to the countrysides, I was there just recently in Embu. I have been with the students out there in the field. But when you talk to them, they just say, we are not facilitated this, we are not facilitated that. But some of it may be excuses. But some of it may be true also. That since knowledge continue to be generated very fast, and new things keep on coming, the farmers are not able to keep track of this. There needs to be a bridge, and this bridge needs to be institutionalized to ensure that they get this information and they apply this knowledge. Yeah. That is a basic link now.
We're about to take a short break, but Clifford, I'll give you one say before we go there. The theme, like Leila said, is hungry and thirsty. What are Kenya's options? So what are Kenya's options?
I think I will not want to preempt the discussion, but I think the theme for this forum is about to bring together key discussions around food security and water. We have a number of an interesting panel that will join us, but also the way we've actually arranged it is in a town hall sort of forum, because we want to be able to not only hear from the experts who will be the panel, but also hear from the audience. And we have invited, if you look at the panel of experts who will be coming, you have not only the Cabinet Secretary of Agriculture, You have a technology scientist who will be on the panel. You have Mr. Abbas Guled, who's a Red Cross, tell us, because he's actually on the ground and sees the drought as it is. You have someone who will be speaking about policy. You also have someone who will be speaking about post-harvest management from the University of Nairobi.
Yeah.
So we have a wide variety of experts who will be leading the discussion. But for example, one of the things that we're very keen is to hear from the audience. We've invited pretty much what you can call the stakeholders in the sector, food security, water. Dr. Kalua will be there, Laila will be there, Professor will be there. And what we want is to have frank discussions, have the untold stories, being able to bring out what we really need. And for me, when I look at it, it's not a blame game. It's we are Kenyans, we're in this situation as we are. How do we prevent a 2011 scenario happening again? Because in 2011, we came as Kenya for Kenyans. We raised, I think, more than 700 million, and we are back to where we were.
All right.